What's your this is for the Patreon. What's your theory of like Native American mascots or symbols, or because there's a lot of, I think now we use it in a, like a respectful, like honoring term. So like a lot of our military helicopters are named after tribes, like the Chinook, the big transport one, the Apache attack helicopter. Um, Obviously, sports teams, the Redskins, the Indians, the Chiefs, the Seminoles, the whatever. Like most cities in Washington are named after tribes. Like, what's your kind of feeling on that?
Well, in my opinion, I think
Yeah, colonizer. What's your opinion on that?
when you have, because usually, I guess the counter argument to someone who is like offended by the team name thing is like, yeah, but at least the helicopter, that's like, it's not a caricature.
Sure.
It's done like, or this town was named after, that's like Tumwater. Oh, it's the first of like these tribes. So it's like actually being more polite, I guess, or politically correct towards it.
Sure.
So when you look it through that, it's like, okay, that makes sense. I've seen a lot of like surveys and things done, specifically asking all sorts of different Native Americans, like, oh, is this offensive? This person dressing like this with a headdress, is that offensive? Is this like mascot or like the picture that, and like, it's always like over 90% say no, they're not offended by it. But that's never brought up in the conversation if we should get rid of this. If you ever, there's this video, he doesn't work for PragerU anymore, but do you remember Will Witt?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So he used to do these videos where he would dress up in like a Native American, like, he's, for anyone to know, he's like just like straight white guy.
He's a super white guy.
Yeah, and he would do the whole like headdress and everything, and he would walk around, do like these thought experiments where he would ask all these college students like, "Hey, do you find this offensive?" And people were like, "What are you doing? Like, don't make this culture your costume," and all those buzzwords and all those kinds of things and stuff. And some people would get like actually like legitimately like violent with him. Yeah. They try to like take off his thing, or they'd like push him, or try, and then he would go to like across the street to, or whatever, to this where a bunch of Native people were.
And go to a reservation.
Yeah, you go to like a reservation and just ask them the same question, and like no one there would be offended.
Do you find the name Washington Redskins, is that offensive to you?
I don't think so. In my personal opinion, no. I am a Washington Redskins fan.
I don't think it's terrible, because the Redskins actually came down last year with our Native American people and taught them how to do football, the little kids,
I don't find it offensive. Someone came to me and called me a Redskin to my face. Hey, it's my fault for letting that hurt me.
Like that, I like the Cleveland Indians. I thought that was pretty cool, but some people would say that was like a drunken native on a logo. You know what I mean? But the Redskins, I mean, that's a historic. That's a fighter. You know what I mean? And like you look at the Apache helicopters, you look at the Navajo code talkers. You see people jumping on airplanes saying Geronimo. So that's just admiration that the American cultures that's adapting and bringing into their environment.
Thanks for like being interested in our culture.
Right. Yeah.
You should learn more about like our specific culture, because that's like actually for chiefs, and this is like what this means. And and
there was a saying he would do that too with like
Chinese or
Hawaiian,
or...
he would there was one where he had like a sombrero and like and then went to like the same thing, go to a bunch of white kids at a college campus, and they're all, or whatever, and then go over across the street to this like very authentic Mexican restaurant where all these like very authentic Mexican people are there, and they're like, oh, that's awesome, like I love that. Like,
would you like to chat with us today? No.
Appropriation.
That's what we want to talk to you about. Hola. You think my outfit is offensive?
Are you Mexican?
No.
Yes.
I think it reaffirms stereotypes that are offensive to people.
You think people really think Mexican people are like this and carry around marachas?
No, I don't think people actually think that.
Cultural appropriation? Why do you say that?
Because you're not like Mexican.
You think Mexican food is like cultural appropriation?
No.
Someone else's culture that we've kind of taken. Is this cultural appropriation?
You're so sweet.
No comment.
It's not yours.
Can I just ask you, do you like my costume?
I like your mustache.
Do you?
Monthly.
Does my outfit offend you?
You look, no. You look nice.
Thank you. Do you like my costume?
Yes.
Does it offend you?
Es ofensivo?
No.
No, nothing. That's good.
I love it, actually. You think it's offensive?
No, not at all.
Some people get really offended by this. Why do you think that is?
I don't know, just you're not Mexican, so people think that you have to be Mexican to wear that.
I'm celebrating Mexico.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Are you Mexican?
I am.
See?
I'm not wearing it.
See? Well, that's okay.
Yeah.
Maybe we should swap outfits.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. I mean, I think a lot of times, sometimes the people who yell the loudest, the silent, or the loud minority, kind of get to decide the rules on those kinds of things.
Yeah.
And so when you have super, I guess I'll just say like liberal CEOs and who just like don't want to rock the boat,
Yeah.
and they just don't want to look bad. They want to make their stockholders look good. We got to make the arrow keep going up. Well, then maybe we just get rid of this, thing. But I think at the same time when you do that, though, it's like you're also just erasing history. And I mentioned that too, I think before with like the taking down statues and things like that.
Yeah.
And, so I know there was actually a lot of same thing with the survey, like, oh, how do you feel about the Redskins like just being completely replaced? And they're like, that guy was actually like a real chief and like a real person, and you just completely took him away because a bunch of like white people were offended by it.
Yeah.
Like, so it's like the way of being counter racist is just like ends up being like more racist.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's because it's interesting about the Redskins because the Redskins are my dad's favorite team, and he's from Baltimore. So, but the Ravens suck. The Redskins really suck. But it's one of those things where
of course your dad would pick the Redskins as his favorite team.
Well, I don't know, whatever.
Just kidding.
I never really understood. It's like, did we ever live in DC? Like, no, we're from Baltimore, and then Virginia. It's like, I guess Virginia's close to DC, but whatever. Anyway, like, it's like the erasure, like you said. It's like any depiction of a Native American person, whether it's like the Redskins logo was like a profile picture of like an actual it wasn't a caricature. Now like the Cleveland Indians, it was kind of cartoonish. He had like a little headdress, Chief Wahoo, and I was like, I don't know if that was a real chief. It might have actually been a real chief. I don't know, but like,
well, again, like I would just go back to like, ask the people that it's imitating, and see how they feel. And I've seen stuff of like, no, look, like they are offended, but it's like you can pinpoint.
Yeah, I can find anyone to be upset about something.
So if they're fine with it, I mean, I don't know.
I looked into Florida State University Seminoles. I mean, clearly there's like, not every tribe has been forcibly removed. Well, I don't know if that's true. Maybe cut that. That's probably not true. But like whatever. But like they were the first, and it was not pleasant. Florida State University, like most people in Florida are white, and the Seminoles is their mascot.
Or Cuban.
Or now. Well, they were Spanish at first, so maybe.
I saw a lot of Cubans of Mark Rubio.
Oh yeah.
So,
yeah.
He's got to represent.
We'll get to that. But like part of their like pregame thing is they have like someone in like traditional Seminole like headdress and like garb, I suppose.
Yeah.
With like a spear on fire, riding a horse in their thing, and they have their whole like tomahawk chop where it's like the like that whole thing where it's like a kind of a caricature of like a native, but I don't know if it's a caricature. Anyways, and so I looked more into that. Like, okay, a bunch of drunk Florida college kids, like this is probably like offensive, and like they're dressing a person up and they're riding a war horse on the thing for a football game. Like these were actual warriors who actually fought and died and whatever. And the Seminole tribe has consistently been like, no, we have a really good relationship with them. They honor our culture, and like we're honored to be represented as like the fighting spirit of this university in this area where we traditionally had lands. So like same thing with the Redskins. Now there are people who we know who were Redskins fans, and then when they changed to the Commanders, they didn't wear the Redskins gear anymore. They wore Commanders gear because they just wanted to, because there are people that we know who are native and not from the East Coast, but like West Coast, Central, Plains Indian tribes, and so it's just like wanting to honor like, hey, this was a thing that is like deeply ingrained into your people group's history, that you like they're still on reservations, like Northwest Trek is a nature preserve, and we like keep wild animals, but in this fence in this specific area. So it's like it's a nasty kind of thing of like yeah, you're totally people, but we're just keep you over here, and you have your own government and this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
And so it's strange. It has like a nasty kind of weird taste to it. Even if everyone
Vessel state, because that's kind of what that's called.
a vassal state.
Vassal state, no
Yeah.
vessel. Yeah, vassal state.
Yeah, where you're like subservient to it. You have your own rights and laws and stuff. Like they have their own tribal police. They don't pay state sales tax, but also like if the Washington state government says to do something, they can't just not do it. Like so, it's a weird thing.
Sometimes I don't know exactly where the authority starts and ends on a lot of things because I know during COVID they didn't have to follow any COVID.
No, they
laws.
well, I mean,
I just know that I just remember like the casinos are still open.
yeah,
And this is open. They're still
yeah. So like the overlap between federal law, state law, and tribal law, like is still being worked out. There's conflicts about water rights and land rights and who gets to like in Nisqually, the tribe gets to fish first. Like they get first fishing
Okay.
rights in salmon season, because that's how they still like eat a lot. Like it's an ancestral thing. They do that. I understand.
That's a good way to apologize.
You get
Sorry
the
about
fish.
Yeah, you get to fish for a week before we come.
So long, and thanks for all the fish. Yeah, I understand both sides. I understand wanting to be sensitive and like, hey, this is a thing that has hurt your people group, even if not your specific tribe or family, but like your people group. This has hurt you. I don't want to be someone who like wears a piece of gear that might upset you, like just person to person. I don't want to offend you as a person, which is different from like I'm a suburban housewife in Minnesota who doesn't like the Cleveland Indians, and I think I don't think Aunt Jemima should be on the
Yeah, I
syrup
was gonna
bottle.
say then you
And
get
so it just
into
keeps
the-
going, and like I miss Aunt Jemima. Okay, like I don't know, but like
I thought it was Jemina. Sorry. Sorry.
And Uncle Ben.
Yeah.
Uncle Ben's rice. I think he's
I
still
can
on.
get any whiter. so.
Uncle Aunt Jemina.
I don't know why. I mean, I don't think I never just always would see the bottle and go, oh, it says Gemini. Just as a little kid, I just carried that with me.
I suppose you're a Mrs. Buttersworth kind of family, aren't you? She's definitely white.
I can't believe it's not butter. Fabio in those commercials. See, that was my mascot.
Enjoy your canola oil, colonizer. We ate off the fat of the land, Land O'Lakes butter, which they took her off.
Yeah, see,
they
there
took
you
her
go.
off. No, but yeah, I understand from a person-to-person standpoint. I personally don't want to do something that's going to upset you potentially. Totally fine, very considerate. I understand, but like big sweeping things because we don't want anyone to be offended, and then we ask the people who might be offended, like, oh, I don't really watch football, or I don't care, or I think it's good that we're being represented in like a rough and tough kind of way. Like we're fighters. It's not like whatever. Yeah, just don't make decisions for people like they're pets. Like they can't, like they couldn't speak for themselves, or like they're too weak and frail to speak for themselves and say, we don't want you to do that. Yeah, that's a big aside, but it's just because the Native American culture and their practices and their traditions and their history, there's a lot of good and interesting and inspiring like history and figures. Tecumseh, Sacagawea, Geronimo, all like many others that I can't think of right now. Chief Seattle, Chief Leshai, all those. Like, if we don't have those names and faces out there, how are our kids supposed to know, like, oh, this is how complex our history is in our region and in our nation and in our world? There are different people groups. This is what they were like. This is what happened. We don't want to do that again. Like, we have to keep all elements of history somewhat present. We don't need to dwell on them, but we can't forget that they happened. They have to be in the public mindset so that we can educate. And I mean, it's not like white people need to go to every powwow, but wouldn't it be cool if you got to see, like, they've been doing this for 700 years. This, like, that would be an interesting thing to observe and to learn about and to just know in your knower of this is how different people live. The art, the music, the food, like all of it. It's good to have available. Otherwise, you're just stuck with canola oil and Wonder Bread, and what a flavorless existence that would be if you were stuck with that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it probably feeds into this. It's just the overall topic of like groupthink, and oh, the black community thinks of this, so we have
Do
to
we?
this. Right, and like treating people as like just entire groups instead of individuals.
Yeah.
So which is this is it's a much more deeper thing than just is this mascot funny?
Yeah.
Obviously, but
Yeah, his nose is too big. Take it off.
Yeah.
It's like, no, we're
tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
Into a much broader topic. So
we're a diverse nation with people from all over the world having their hands in different corners of it. Different immigrants from different places. We're not like Europe. We're not like Russia. We're not like China. We're very different. Like the melting pot of different people coming in is what makes us unique. And the fact that by and large, the vast majority of us, we get along with each other just fine. Like the past 60-ish, 70-ish years, there's been some bumps along the way, for sure. But you go from black people are property to
yeah,
I mean, you think like Civil Rights Act in the 60s and Jim Crow, so 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, 60, 70 years, to like interracial marriage and fully integrated schools, and it's not a problem. It's not a problem. White kids have posters of black movie stars and sports heroes in their rooms. Hispanic kids have white politician people that they like aspire to be. Like it's all mixed up, and it's good that we can get along because that proves to other places it's not easy, but it's possible. Like there will be some issues along the way that we probably don't like looking back and wish we could have done different. But some things just sort of have to happen to get to the place where you can be where you're at.